Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝗑𝗙 Guru's channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today is Professor R. Vaidyanathan as we look at the dynasty versus democracy debate. 25 families that rule India, those states that are not under rule of BJP, and some of them are sitting in the opposition too. Are they capable of bringing in a Nepal in India? That's the question. Let's welcome Professor RV. Namaskaram, sir. How are you?
I am doing okay. Thank you.
Accidentally, he, I think, got logged off. While he rejoins, I'd like all of you to consider buying my book, Operation 𝗏𝗲. As you can see, if you remember watching the parade that was on display from... Just 1 second, viewers. Sir, 1 second, sir. I was in the middle of a sentence. Sir, I was in the middle of a sentence. Let me just finish that. So, viewers, you all saw that there was a parade in post the SCO, and you saw the might of China coming. We know that they have the largest navy in the world, and Operation 𝗏𝗲 gives you a preview, sneak into what could be happening in the future. Next 𝗏𝗏, maybe something else. What would be, how it will take shape. So do get that book to give you an idea of what's happening. Sir, over to you, sir. Yeah, I've defined the topic. Take it away, sir.
Okay. No, I thought you would like to talk something about subscribing, something about Sangol, something about... No?
All that is over while you were off and back on. That's why.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Now, thank you, Iyer. Thanks, Sachin, for being a head cook to bottle washer. Everything.
Right now he's washing bottles, sir. I am the one running the whole show today. At this point of time, he'll come in.
Sachin is on leave or what?
No. He's busy doing something else, sir.
Okay.
We never take rest.
Also, thanks, Sachin, for general support.
Yes.
And other things,
yes.
Right? Okay. Now, today, I think everybody is so much moved about what happened in Nepal in the context of what happened in Bangladesh, what happened in Sri Lanka, etc. And it's supposed to be a continuum of what happened in SL, of course, 1 year earlier, and BD recently, and then now Nepal. So there is a, this 𝗤𝗓𝗏, person who closes his eyes and I don't think he has mind to close. He says that there is a chance that this will also take place in India. And then that Sanjeev, what is that, 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗞𝗦's member.
Oh, Sanjay Raut.
Sanjay Raut actually has a problem because everybody is resigning on moral grounds. He should do it on oral grounds, according to me. And from his pedestal. Anyhow, he is telling that this will happen in, I don't know where, in India. And today, to Capital, our friend Mulayam Singh Yadav's good son, he is telling that if things don't, look up in India, the same thing could also happen. I don't know. Just I think they are talking off their hat or whatever it is. And Sanjay Raut told a 75-year-old dictator cannot be running this country. I do not know what he means, because I thought whatever said and done, you may or may not like, or you may not appreciate Prime Minister, but he is duly elected person with all the what one can call the humility. We have to accept that. As long as he is an elected person, you cannot call him a monarch. Anyhow, the issue is very simple. Can Nepal be replicated in our country? And primarily instigated by students. This is another thing, what is called 𝗏𝗔𝗔. Suddenly, 𝗏𝗔𝗔 has become a major talking point. Median age in Nepal is 25. In Bangladesh, the median age is 26. In India, of course, it is 29. We are slightly more aged or more matured. I do not know, because you cannot equate age with maturity, but still we are 29. That is one point which we should remember. Second is, whenever there is some agitation in JNU or Aligarh Muslim University or Jadavpur University, these are all Hyderabad Central University, these are all what you may loosely call the standard places of agitation. Whenever some agitation takes place in this place, there is a big hue and cry that the Indian students are up in arms, like that. Articles come and other things. I pointed out this in one discussion. Number of universities in India. Can you guess how much it might be?
In thousands,
Total
sir?
universities?
In thousands?
1,334.
Oh, wow.
1,400 nearly. We have got central universities, state universities, deemed universities, private universities, etc. And when I mentioned this, some eminent experts in the panel, they didn't agree at all. They told, no, we can't have so many. I told, this is all under UGC. You go to UGC website and find out how many universities are there. So out of 1,400, if some 5-6 universities in some 4 cities, within that a group of students, have agitation or demonstration, immediately we conclude the whole Indian student is on warpath. It's like, one child marriage take place in Rajasthan or something. All TV channels screaming that as if, every child in India is going to be married tomorrow. That type of we have an uncanny knack of focusing on inconsequential and immaterial, if you ask me bluntly. So these 3-4 universities can't decide anything about what could come. There were some provocations earlier, if you remember, during the farmers' agitation, and that was handled by government much more sensible. It was told that a person was killed in that agitation, which is a lie. Anyhow, a lot of these are floating around, this type of thing. And here, the level of youth in other than this 3-4, even you can say 10 centers, all others are more interested in studies, jobs. That is the most important thing, and they are not going to come into the road and agitate for regime change. Second point is very important. We don't have a unified opposition. This Bendi, Bendi or Indi. Bendi is, of course, is lady's finger in English.
Why are you
So-
wanting to cut ladies' fingers, sir? People will
Yeah.
immediately say you want to have ladies' fingers cut.
No, I recall a incident. It was a side thing I should tell you lightheartedly. When I first went to US in the late 70s, I was in an apartment building in Illinois, and somebody told me, you take a green line, it will take you to Sears. I landed there in the early morning or something. In the afternoon, I took the bus to go to Sears. Used to be one of the major market that time. Adjacent to Sears were a vegetable market. Anyhow, I went there and I asked the lady in standing there, where they have kept ladies' finger. She looked at me as if I am a barbarian or somebody who has come from faraway land. She put her hand behind her back, first of all, and then asked me, what are you asking? I told her again, I am told that it is cut and then kept in the freezer in the plastic covers. She got further, completely worried. She went to the manager and told, this Indian is wanting something. Come, please come here. The manager came here. He was also a black actually. And he asked me, what do you want? So I looked around. By then I located that this where it is kept. I told this, oh, okra you are talking about. I told yes, but unfortunately I come from a land which got independent from British very recently, compared to you people who are 240 years of history. So we call it lady's finger. And he told, no, it's okra. Remember? And it got into my head that day only. that it is not. There is a lot of issues in dealing with British English and American English. Like I always say, open the dicky. And that fellow looks at me, what to open? And similarly, in my class, one of the girls asked the others, she's not an Indian, she's an Indian immigrant. She has come very recently. She asked somebody else, can you give me a rubber? And the whole class was stunned actually. What she was asking is the eraser. And she turned around to a white boy and asked, please give me a rubber. And that boy was scandalized actually. Much later only, I came to understand the intricacies of this issue. So when you told ladies' finger, I just recollected this as a side issue. Any of this Bendy alliance, otherwise known as Indie alliance, it's not a unified single party. First, we should remember that. It consists of roughly 25 political parties. I call them 25 business houses, 25 business families. It is called dynasty. When do we define a dynasty? Dynasty, you start a political party, run it for some time, hand it over to your children. That is the dynasty. Dynasty is not anybody becoming a minister. Somebody says 𝗏𝗍𝗍𝗔 chair, how can Amit Shah's son? That's not a dynasty. Dynasty in the rigorous term is a political party started by a leader is handed over to the children. Very straight. In that, the southern one, DMK, is very unique because Karunanidhi did not start the party. He is not one of the 21 people who were original signatories or anything. Much later, he entered into it. He hijacked it and then handed it over to his son. All others, if you start from Kashmir, Abdullahs, and then Lalu Yadavs, Mulayam Yadav, and then come down to, of course, this Biju Janata Dal is an anomaly, and he is not having any children to pass it on. He identified one Pandian, one South Indian, who was working with him, and unfortunately that didn't work out. Mamata Banerjee has her nephew, and this Mayavati also has her nephew, but periodically she removes him from the party and then she inducts him back. That's a very interesting type of a situation there. Anyhow, and then we have 𝗟𝗏𝗄𝗧, who has his, and he expelled his daughter. This in this family businesses, these problems are plenty. Then we have in PMK in Tamil Nadu, the father Ramadas expelled the son Ramadas, Anbumani Ramadas. He expelled him from the party. It is suggested that Father Ramdas has got 2 wives or 3. When you have multiple wives, some of these problems crop up. The only person whom
Sir, you are going over the most important thing so quickly, sir. Is there a second wife with another son there? Is there some other money there, Inba money, here Anbu money, there Inba money? Sir, you please share the details, sir. Our viewers will want to know.
Where you want Anbumani's historical thing. Anbumani's father seems to be having multiple wives. This is the sort of a picture. 3 wives he seems to be having. 2 wives and 1 keep. And Karunanidhi was also supposed to be having that. But Karunanidhi dealt with the problem in a much more sophisticated way, identified Stalin as his successor. And the elder son was banished to Madurai and not given any importance. The first wife's son, unfortunately, he tried to project him as alternative MGR. It didn't work out. And that fellow became a drunkard, drug addict, and other thing. Recently, he passed away, actually. So, multiple wives have got always problems in terms of distribution. Now, people ask me, very many have in the email as well as, why do they want to pass it on to their children? First and foremost, you should understand, when you have a political party built over a period of time by an individual, yes, huge amount of money accumulated. He has to pass it on to somebody. He can't obviously pass it on to external persons, third party fellows, and he has to pass it on to his children. 1. Second is the children should be in politics. Otherwise, the accumulated wealth might not be properly used, or the opposition could take steps in order to confiscate. If you are in politics, you can at least claim that you are being vindicated, and the ruling government is acting against your interest for political reasons and other things. So this is a vicious type of a situation. Once you are in politics, your children has to join in politics, and the accumulated wealth. Of course, in the case of this Telugu leader Rajshekhar Reddy, this problem was very different. Suddenly, his helicopter crashed and then he died. Most of the political leaders think they are permanent, which it is not true. Nobody is permanent. Political leaders also can be no question of being permanent. Anyhow, the rumor that time is something huge amount, some 15,000 to 20,000 crore, he has accumulated and kept in various Swiss banks. And he has not passed on the password for those things to his children. How to handle it? He has also not identified the lawyer and chartered accountant who are organizing these things for him. This is the story. And so his son got only a minimal domestic black money, not the global. He was not adequately globalized. He was only localized.
Localized.
But he started his party, and this is called, global, local, glucol. This is the term used by our famous 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗏 𝗔𝗏. Local, local. That is
Sir, it
global.
sounds like Fevicol, sir. Sir, it sounds like Fevicol.
Glucol. Anyhow, so this also happens many a time. Devagowda's children again were in thing, and the elder son unfortunately got into difficulties, and his son, the Devagowda grandson, is in jail now for raping some woman, and he's put into jail for 20 years, and he's given a job of library in charge in the jail. It's very interesting actually. If you are a LTM, if you cannot read and write, you can at least be in charge of library and distribute books, make others learn something. This is very, very, so it's not very easy to have a family based enterprise. That's why it's called HUF, Hindu undivided family. Underline that word, undivided. The original constitution framers never used the word Hindu united family. They were very, very far sighted. So they told Hindu undivided family, which can be divided anytime. So that is the basic principle. All of them are business enterprises, but calling themselves as political parties. For instance, Mulayam's son, children, they are all using the Yadav card. Very important. Then these children of Lalu Yadav are also using Yadav card. It's called Yadav and Muslim. MY. This combination is supposed to bring them back to power in Bihar. This very interesting thing is Lalu Yadav is a convicted criminal, underline convicted. He's not accused or anything. He's a convicted criminal. Some doctor has told he has health problem, and that certificate was used to get bail from a judge. According to me, both the doctor and the judge should be investigated, because Lalu Yadav is going around heartily. He's hugging Karge. He's playing badminton. He's giving bhashan on democracy and other things. A convicted criminal is having so much amount of flexibility in our country. Anyhow, his children are also, so the caste card is played in some places. In Tamil Nadu and that type of places, language card is being played. The same. See, the family enterprise has to use some emotional issue in order to sustain itself in the position. So are these 25 families? Long list, but if you are very interested, you can take my book, Caste as Social Capital, buy and read it, last 2 chapters. Entire list is given there with all the thing. And of course, one has to say that one has to be cautious, because some of the literature about this is not very, very decent. Anyhow, somebody asked, what about Sharad Pawar? Same thing. Sharad Pawar daughter, is handed over the kingdom. So this is the position. His nephew is angry, so he quit and then he went and started his own what one can call National Congress Party, but under Ajit Pawar. This is something like in Kerala, it's a very unique state. I have my lot of appreciation for them. There used to be a political party, Kerala Congress. Even today, I think it is there. There was a, Pillai, Kerala Congress Pillai faction. It was very, because between him and 𝗟𝗏 George, there was a big fight and Pillai became a Kerala Congress Pillai bracket. Now this Kerala Congress Pillai expelled Pillai. Can you beat that? Kerala Congress Pillai expelled Pillai. And then they fought election as Kerala Congress Pillai, bracket E. E mean expelled. That fellow is not there. But his name could not be changed in the book of records and election commission. So anyhow, that's a very Kerala is a unique country. You have to remember that it's not something which is easily comparable with any other state or any. As late as the end of 19th century, our friend Swami Vivekananda mentioned that it's a lunatic asylum. He visited that place and then he mixed with people, came out and told it's an asylum. So let's, he was a very far-sighted man. So the same thing. So like that, here you have NCP, but Ajit Pawar. Then you have more interesting is this Shiv Sena. Shiv Sena was originally by Bal Thackeray. Thackeray's son was given important, not nephew. And the nephew formed his own Maharashtra Navanirman Samiti, and he went around. He's one of the, if I want to use a very mild word, he's a thug actually. He's a very thuggish. His followers are all, they will come and ask you to speak in Marathi. If you refuse to speak, they will slap you. That's a very simple thing. And it's a slap party that everywhere. And they don't go to Salman Khan or they don't go to Amir Khan or Amitabh Bachchan, ask him to Ambani or Adani, ask them to speak Marathi. They go to all these local, rickshawalas, local pani puri sellers and other thing, and harass them. Same thing, DMK, with all their veneer about anti-Brahmin and other thing, they will never go to higher levels. Mostly their focus is on these pandits, what we call Shastrigal, who are belonging to the lower category in terms of hierarchy, as well as these cooks and other things. This is the area where they focus and then they beat them up, and they never ever attacked any major businessman or industrialist belonging to any of these communities or even film actor or nobody. So same way, this Pawar question, and then there are sub kingdoms. In Trichy, there is a kingdom by Ken Nehru, he and his son, and other thing. These smaller kingdoms are all under the main business families. This is very important. This is best thing is Tamil Nadu, who have perfected the art of creating a kingdom in every district. And every district below that there is another sub kingdom. So all of them are paying their dakshina or paying their taxes to the main kingdom. So this is the situation in the country. This is the nature. CPI and CPM are political parties which you may call as different. They are really not, but unfortunately, they are not having any influence anymore. After the fall of Berlin Wall and other thing, even in Bengal, they don't have any. They are only popular in the Daba, Ganga Daba, it is called, outside JNU. If you go on a Sunday morning, you will find a couple of people sitting and talking about revolution and other things. That could be CPM or it could be Naxalite. That crowd is also lessened because earlier they used to get huge credit from that fellow. And the shop fellow nowadays is not giving so much credit because he knows that these people may not be in power in future at all. So that is one place where you can find the communists. Other is in couple of other tea shops in Kerala. Of course, North Korea is another country. Cuba is not anymore communist, nor China. All of them are allowing entrepreneurs of at lower levels. So, communist, you may say that they are different than the 25 business families, but they are not, unfortunately, having any voice. The largest family is, of course, that of this Rahul Gandhi. That is the single largest business family. They have a huge amount of business interest. And, very interestingly, I do not know whether by plan or by omission or commission, this government has not done. For instance, P. Chidambaram is supposed to be having some 20 bails against him. His son is having some 16 bail cases. Every time, ED goes, ED is what one can call questioning them. Sometimes it is told ED is grinding them. Sometimes it is told ED is interrogating them, whatever. But nothing seems to be coming out of it in terms of actual jail. The only leader who has been convicted and put in jail and now is, of course, on bail is Lalu Yadav, not anybody else. Other one was JJ, who died in Tamil Nadu. She was also a convicted leader, and but both the cases were not taken up by the government. They were, in the case of JJ, it was Dr. Swami who took the cases. In the case of Lalu Yadav, it was Rai who took the cases. So it's not. But otherwise, you come out of this, you find that total inaction. 2G case is supposed to be still going on. I do not know exactly what is the current position of 2G. All other cases are at various stages. So they are, different. Some people are telling courts are responsible, another thing. I'm sure there should be some mechanism by which this so-called, what one can call court can be speeded up. There are some courts which are supposed to be for only political leaders. They are also not speeded up. Some people are arguing, no, this is for the second half of the term. The government is keeping all this. Second half of the term, all this will be expedited. This I have been told from 2011. Anyhow, second half or first half, it's not like a film, The second half, all the villains will get bashed up and then the cops will come and then let's wait and see. Because this grilling, is taking place every time it is told. For instance, a leader from Bangalore, 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗪, last year, practically every Friday he was raided. If it's Friday, raid Shivakumar. And he was grilled. The amount of
Sir. As far as he was concerned, it was not Friday, sir. It was raid day.
Raid day, correct. And he was grilled so much. I could have made some 100 sandwiches out of the whole thing. The grilling is such a massive scale. And at the same time, one official, I do not know whether he belonged to ED or IT, he climbed the wall of Chidambaram's house and jumped. It was shown
CBI,
on that.
sir. It was CBI. CBI.
Whoever, one official.
It was his last day of work too. Sir, it was his last day of work, I heard. So it was last achievement was, I finally got this guy, because evidently he has tried many times before.
Anyhow, so he jumped. He was in pants. He was not in dhoti, and he climbed the wall and jumped on the other side. Whatever purpose it was shown on the television.
Because Chidambaram had locked the door from inside, sir. He had locked the gate from inside. He had also locked his house from outside, and then he was inside.
Anyhow, so this is what I was thinking. Something will come out of it. Nothing has come out of it. So this is all, it's a very, very fascinating situation. All these these business families who control political parties, I don't think they can mount on an all India basis any agitation of Nepal nature against this government. This is very important to notice. Maybe in one state they can try something, in another state they can not on an all India basis. And also states like Gujarat, state like Rajasthan, which are all BJP run, they are not going to get into this. Mostly it could be states like Karnataka. Or in that context, we have to see another thing. This 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, this German, they are not having their television in India now, but they are having their websites. They have produced a film about South versus North. According to them, North is bigger and South is flourishing. In the 50s and 60s, Annadurai used to write bombastically that வடக்கு வளர்கிறது தெற்கு தேய்கிறது. South is declining, North is going up. Today, the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has created the other. He says South is doing very well. North is, by North they mean Bihar, is suffering. Not Gujarat. They don't think, I think they know about West. The directions are very, very not clear. For instance, I always used to wonder, you look at the Indian map, Goa is actually in South. It's hanging in the south below Maharashtra, much nearer, but part of actually the Telangana is also above Goa. But in discussion on south, Goa is never mentioned. Goa is somehow treated as outlier. The point I want to stress is now the fault line is drawn between south and north. This is another possibility. So what the deep state strategy could be in the medium term, creating fissure between south and north. So north is this, south is this. So there is a need for south to have separate identity, and some, we don't get enough benefit of taxes. Lies are very common, and the entire political movement in Tamil Nadu is built on lies. Today, openly, they are telling for every 100 rupee we give, we get only 19 rupees, which is a total lie. But if a lie is repeated something like so many times, it becomes a truth. So this is the bigger issue, and entire media is controlled. Very surprisingly, major English channels have also gone into this issue of southern focus. South, what South thinks, and South, as of now, is thinking is something very peculiar. What South thinks, as if this, this experts on the television knows what South thinks, then what West thinks, what Northeast thinks, what East thinks, what nobody seems to be wondering about it. What South thinks is something becoming, and all the major channels have got now a couple of hours allocated for southern issues, whatever it is. As 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, one of the eminent constitutional experts, used to say, I'm an Indian from South India, southern part of India. This is most important. He never says I am a South Indian. So this is something which newly, different caste is one area which is being, and our Prince Rahul Gandhi is focusing on caste. He feels that this 50% ceiling is all not correct. It should be increased. So he wants to create one fissure. Surprisingly, 4 southern chief ministers are extremely volatile type of a situation, people. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, as well as Telangana. So this is something which I think the Bendy alliance will use in order to provoke. Difficult to miss your shows. So absorbing. Oh gosh, somebody is writing. Anyhow, so the Nepal type of situation, in order to replace the government, is not very easy yet. That is something which we should recognize. But what is more easy is the local level troubles can be created at individual states. I primarily give importance to Bengal. Kindly switch it off. It's a very, what one can call extremely provocative. So, no, please. I don't even look 40% like this. You are creating chaos. Shift it. So, locally, so my own hunch is Bengal is a good candidate for this. First, Tamil Nadu is another good candidate. Then, of course, Karnataka. So, some of these, what one can call what our youth leader, of course, in India, 75 also you are youth only, 90 also you are youth. Actually, I am also youth. So, if I am youth, my students are yet to be born. So, that type of a general. The youth leader says he is going to throw a hydrogen bomb, whatever it means. He says atomic bomb has been already kindled. Now hydrogen bomb, wait for it another. So this is the local troubles can be created and it can be of significant impact in the local level. This is very, very important. This is something, it could be caste based, it could be language based, it could be, any type of grievance. We are a interesting country of victimhood people. Everybody is a victim in our country. I'm yet to come across who is not a victim. It's the only country where 561 samasthanams were merged by Sardar Patel. Almost all of them were ruled by BC, SC, ST. Believe me, sir. And all of them are now asking for tag of backward community. So my colleague in Atlanta used to joke, India is the only country where the erstwhile rulers all want to be now categorized as backward. This is something which is very, very interesting. Everybody wants to be classified as backward. That's very recently I read an article that backward walking is much better than forward walking. I was shocked actually. Even in walking, this situation has come where it is categorized between backward walking and forward walking. So everybody has got a victimhood. We are a country of victims. Actually, there are no other explanation is possible. All are victims. We are victim of somebody's. We are actually what I would call a toothpaste society. What is a toothpaste society? Toothpaste is squeezed, and sometimes it is squeezed till the end. Sometimes people keep it in the wedge of the door, in order to exhaust its complete potential. So that is the ultimate middle class. If you keep the toothpaste at the wedge of a door in order to get the whole thing out. So like that, we are toothpaste society. Everyone is feeling he is being crushed, he is being squeezed, he is being. Nobody is feeling that he is in a. This is something very, very interesting. So all these 25 families will exploit this victimhood. Victimhood is something which is very, very common and popular for us. So that could be exploited, but definitely not of the order of Nepal's change of regime and other things. Second, the most important thing people don't realize, our army is very large, country is very large, population is very large. Our army is, in a sense, divided by caste and so many things. There is a Rajput battalion, there is a Jat. So it's not very easy for any one single person to claim that he is the leader or something. If I remember correctly, in a closed door meeting where I was also present, so there is no question of giving any proof or any link or anything. George Fernandez mentioned, as long as RSS and Indian Army are there, we don't have to too much worry about a larger issue of our country's, democracy, independence, and other things. If you recall, even during the worst time of Indira Gandhi, when she imposed emergency, not during her earlier regime and other thing, when he imposed emergency, army kept itself out of the whole thing. Of course, one important point everybody mentioned, Siddharth Shankar Ray also has mentioned it. Emergency was as per the constitution then existing, which was interpreted by 𝗣𝗚 𝗏𝗏. 𝗣𝗚 𝗏𝗏 interpretation requires 100 interpretations. Actually, you have to, It's like, exposition. Brahma Sutra Bhashyas, there are several Bhashyas. One Bhashya is by Adi Shankara, other Bhashya is by Ramanuja, third Bhashya is by Madhva. Then there are other sub Bhashyas. Like that, V.R. Krishna Iyer's judgment are eagerly read in order to understand what he tries to say. It's a very, very complicated thing. Both the accused and the victim will think they are the winners. That is V.R. Krishna Iyer's position. So this is how he justified, and then he gave his judgment. Later, of course, 𝗟𝗏𝗙𝗏 was not agreeing to that, and that's a history. Point I want to stress is, the worst of time also, our defense forces are completely professional. They are not going to get involved in any of the hanky-panky of opposition or ruling or anything. They will just keep in the side. One. Second is, there is a slow type of a social change which is taking place. Not many realize Govind, who became President of India, was an SC. And then Murmu is a ST, who has become a President of India. And then at various levels, different type of, what you may loosely call the underrepresented groups are coming into focus. Huge number of BCs, the OBCs, what they are called, SC, STs are all getting into different levels of position. When I was, I can tell, humility is my middle name. I'm one of the founder members of PFRDA. PFRDA is, some of you might have heard about it, is a Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority. A study was conducted there, which is not yet published, I think. Anyhow, in that time, it was in the period from 2015 or 16. By 2040, believe me, sir, 85 to 90% of the civil servants will belong to BC, SC, ST. So the current crop of all civil servants would have the so-called forward caste. Because Rahul Gandhi is always asking this question: how many of these are there? How many of these are? He says, how many of the 500 top industrialists are BC or SC, SC, OBC? He should know that aggregate business enterprise survey conducted by CSO reveals 70% of the Indian businesses are owned by OBC, SC, ST. All Indian businesses, including the puchkawala, including the chaiwala, including the pani puri seller, up to up to Ambani. All of them, if you classify and then put it into different categories, you find so much is owned by BC and SC, ST. So I always argue Vaishyavisation of India is taking place. It's not Sanskritization, it is Vaishya. Everybody is becoming a Vaishya. Sree Iyer type of people are also becoming Vaishyas in terms of entrepreneurship.
Why drag my name, sir? Why drag my name into this?
Because you have gone into something like 30 to 35 enterprises. Am I right? You are a serial entrepreneur. Like serial killer.
You are making it sound like I'm a serial killer, sir.
No. You killed many enterprises, whichever you felt were not doing the purpose. Point I want to stress is this. This slogan by Raga that you increase the reservation to 80% even. What avail it is? There is a limit for government chakri. Your own state, controlled state like Himachal Pradesh, has reverted the whole old pension scheme because the state is broke. Most of the states are broke. Let's be very clear about it. It's only, empty talk and other things. So their ability to create based on this is very low, based on cost, a major type of a all India basis. Similarly, based on language is also very low. There is not, even if DMK starts an anti-Hindi agitation, I'm very curious, or I'm very sure that they are not able to, they will not be able to mobilize as much as what they did in 65 or 1967. So the whole trend and situation is changing. The youngsters are more interested in getting into some job and getting into some activity or going abroad, and various type of aspirations are come about in the country. So Nepal type of situation is not very easy to replicate in India, is my humble submission. Any attempt to replicate is not going to succeed. This is it may succeed at one state level or something, or two state level, but it's not going to burn the whole country. It's very difficult to burn our whole country like India. Hanuman could not do it, I can tell you. He can do it for Sri Lanka, which is relatively a smaller one, with his tail was kept with fire. India is not very easy. It's a too large a country, and with so many type of complications and other things. So any type of victimhood strategy, any type of language or caste or based strategy is not going to work in our country. And so the Nepal replication is just a tall talk by 𝗤𝗏𝗏 and that oral fellow from that what is that?
Sir,
Udit.
sir, I'm hearing after listening to this, he's claiming oral victory, sir.
Oral victory. Actually, Congress is claiming moral victory, but they should start claiming oral victory, if not anything else. And 𝗤𝗏𝗏 and our friend Sanjay Raut, right?
Yes,
Am I right,
yes.
sir? UBT.
Yes, Sanjay Raut.
There are, and then another one called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in South. Every place there is one of these oral fellows who go on, nauseatingly talking something. And it's fun actually. It gives you some amount of joy and happiness. We require comics in the interlude of politics, right?
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
So,
Yes, indeed.
conclusion is Nepal is Nepal, BD is BD, then Sri Lanka is Sri Lanka, and India is India. India is not going to be rattled or there could be some amount of situation here and there, like you have this Manipur going on for some time. Incidentally, we had much worse situation. 𝗥𝗙𝗍𝗼 we used to have, and it used to be told 𝗥𝗙𝗍𝗼 will end India. Nothing. They all claimed Chinese chairman is our chairman. Nothing came out of it actually. After that, these 𝗵𝗏𝗏 groups started. This anti-India agitation. All these did, of course, impact the part of a country, but it never affected the larger scheme of things. And today, it's much different because we are growing very well, and aspirational middle class is on a very high level. Everybody want to go to departmental store. Everybody want to visit these malls, and everybody want to complex cinemas. People buy actually popcorn in the cinema complex. I can't believe it actually. Those
My
who
hand
buy
is not even
popcorn,
visible, sir. This big, this big,
huh?
this big box. This big
Huh?
box.
And those who buy popcorn, I feel income tax should raid them immediately, because if they can buy popcorn in a cinema mall, that means their level of black money should be relatively very large. Anyhow, so the aspirational middle class has come. See, 140 crore population, I can tell very much, at least 40 crore, that is 10 crore, taking four-member family in the traditional sense, are belonging to middle and lower middle class. Definitely. So this 40 crore is not interested in any of this revolution or change or anything. They will all shout here and there and nothing more or nothing less. So this 40 crore is the stable base of the country. They want to have as many, aspirational things, as many new apartments, new cars, and various other type of things. So it's not the situation of the 60s. This should be very clearly understood. This concern of this 40 crore is totally different. They want lesser taxes, they want better roads, they want better amenities. They want to enter into mall. All these things. You go to any gold shop today in southern India or any part of India, the amount of crowd is unbelievable. Gold is shot to nearly 85,000, another thing for 10 gram. Everybody says it is beyond reach. So we will spend some time on gold much later, next or some other time. As per Iyer's advice, we will take it and then we will do it. Point
Yes,
I
sir.
want to say is we are completely different today than what we were in the 60s and 70s. So the slogans of 60s and 70s are not going to be of any help or any use. Thank you very much. Thanks a
Thank you,
lot.
sir. We have a few questions now. Let's quickly go through those. First question, please.
There are questions. Very good.
Yes. Bharat is made of 30. Nepal's deep state has tried it with CAA, farm protests and whatnot. That can't be engineered here. Also, Indian traders don't come that cheap either.
That I agree. Ours is costlier, relatively. Okay. Thank you,
Next,
Venkatragavan.
next one is
Dynasty rulers
𝗤𝗍𝗏
breathing their last.
Srivastava. Do you think, sir, dynasty
No,
rulers are breathing
public
their last?
𝗤𝗏𝗢𝗓𝗏 will always prevail. Yeah, dynasty rulers will go away, maybe another 5 to 10 years. If Congress meets again some defeat, major defeats in poll, it will have a huge impact on them. Just wait and see, wait and watch.
Next one, please. Sanjay, thank you so much for your super sticker.
Thank you
And
so
last
much,
question.
Sanjay.
Sir,
Judiciary
last
being the
question,
main
sir.
trigger.
Yeah. Kaveri Maindan wants to know,
Sri Lanka,
judiciary being the
Maldives,
main.
Manipur. We are a terrible judiciary. No. We don't have a terrible judiciary. I can tell. Iyer may be worried, but we won't be sued. Don't worry. We have a corrupt judiciary. That's all. We don't have a terrible. And it's a judiciary is also in our country is not a unified force. If you saw, there was a set of petitions supporting our vice presidential candidate for Bendy Alliance, but there was another set of ex-judges and other thing who equally gave a petition opposing this ex-judge who was the vice presidential candidate. So it's not a unified. And kindly note again, judiciary has got huge spread in India to the smaller level judiciary in Jharkhand and Tamil Nadu to Supreme Court. So it's a layers and layers of judiciary. So I don't think it will be able to do any major mischief.
Next question from Mike. Please know one thing very, very clearly, Mr. Vaidyanathan. For students to rebel, there has to be a culprit who is corrupt at all levels, which in Bharat's case is the opposition only.
Yeah. Most of the states which are, most of the state leaders are very corrupt. So if you have to rebel against them only. You have to rebel against 𝗤𝗍𝗏 𝗢𝗏 or you have to rebel against Stalin. So that's not going to work out from their point of view also.
Thank you so much, sir. What an engrossing session. And we'll be back with Professor in a couple of weeks' time. And before we sign off, sir, I don't know if you know the expansion of GOAT, greatest of all times. Just want to say that Professor RV is GOAT.
I thought you are going to use me for the coming Ramjan. Anyhow, it's okay. It's not for Balidan. Thank you very much.
No. Greatest of all times is GOAT.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Namaskaram.
Thank you, Iyer sir. Thanks a lot for your